get your favorite podcasts.
Q107 is Toronto's rock station, home to the best rock music on earth, and the Daily Derringer podcast.
We'd like to gain your trust today, but first, in order for you to have our goal on today's podcast is to gain your trust. And in order for you to trust us, we have to trust Johnny Garbett.
Right.
Because we're coming in raw dog on this one. We are coming in commando. We have no idea what we're going to talk about, but Johnny said, I've got a great idea. Let's just see how that goes.
All right. This is a story out of Toronto, and I want to ask you who's on the hook for this. Okay? So back in November, there's a bar on the Danforth, and the owner of the bar was working one night and decided to cut off a couple of rowdy visitors, right? Hey, you guys are done. Had too much, not happening. Guys freaked out, started like smashing windows and throwing chairs, and on their way out, they pulled the fire alarm. Okay? And when you pull the fire alarm, cops and ambulances and fire trucks show up to the place. Now, before any of them showed up, the owner of the bar and one of the servers called 911 and said, hey, there's a false alarm. Some drunken guest pulled it. Please don't come. Well, according to the laws in this province, no matter what fire alarm happens, they have to show up. Okay? One fire truck shows up. The other two that were said to were supposed to be responded didn't show up either. Didn't show up. One out of the three did. This lady is now on the hook for a $1,500 bill for the fire alarm being pulled. And even though one of the three fire trucks showed up, she's still being charged for all three being showed up. Who's on the hook for that?
Did you say the lady? She's the bar owner?
She's the owner, yeah.
Why didn't the other two? Did she tell the first one and then they told the other two?
I guess what happened was she called and said, hey, it's a false alarm. One truck decided to keep going. The other two pulled off. But she's being charged for all three trucks. And I feel that in society, we talk about the Scarborough Bluffs, and if you're caught on the bluffs, you should be charged for that. Sometimes you hear about guys falling in between buildings, and like, I think you should be charged for that. I feel like this lady, if you're going to make something go away, I feel like this charge should go away because there's multiple witnesses say that like it was a rowdy drunken guy. What do you guys think on that?
I'm sympathetic towards her. I mean, just going off of what you said, I feel bad that she's dinged with this bill. I feel like if you're going to charge anyone, you should charge those patrons. Problem is, you probably can't get a hold of them.
So it's either
That's a tough one.
You got to just erase it or lay the hook on her.
Is it required? I guess it is, that every establishment, maybe that serves alcohol, has to have an actual fire alarm in it?
Doesn't every building kind of have to have a fire alarm?
I mean, if you owned a dress shop, would you need a fire alarm in there? If you owned a herbal remedy store,
Right. Maybe because it's their kitchen and stuff. Like, I don't know what the rules are.
don't know.
Yeah. The Toronto Fire spokesman said that crews have to respond to all incidents, whether requests are canceled or not, and it's not possible to remotely determine whether a situation is serious or not. So, if you're thinking about pulling a fire alarm and getting fire trucks, it's $477 per truck showing up at your incident.
I don't get the impression this is a massive problem. I mean, I did it as a kid and learned my lesson.
Right. And so did the fire truck show up?
Yeah.
I guess I understand.
And my mom marched me down to I was probably 10 or 11. And remember the ones on the poles? Little red, you pull the tab. And we thought it was funny, right? We're idiots.
Sure.
And my mom marched me down to the fire hall and said, you got to apologize.
I wonder if because it happened, it's kind of an ongoing gag that they started. I wonder when they started charging people. Maybe they finally said, enough of this, we'll start charging people as a deterrent. I don't know.
I wonder if high schools had, because how many people would pull fire? Like, I could tell you, I know people in our high school that pull the fire alarm to get out of tests. And you're just cranking on fire alarms once every 3 weeks at the same high school.
Well, but it also, you could lead to a conversation about deterrence too, right? I mean, if you do something like that and do something stupid and there is a fine that is attached to it, in this case, in the $500 range, there's a really good chance that you won't do it again. That's not going to stop the next generation of idiots from doing it.
Or, like, obviously adults that did it at a bar who also smashed her windows. Like, she's also got to cover the cost of that. Like, that's an unfortunate situation.
Could you not also look back and say, you cut them off quite clearly 2 drinks too late?
For sure.
argument there.
But
right.
it doesn't say, and sometimes as an ex-bartender myself, I can shed a little light on this. Some people come in one drink away from being rowdy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They show up, they're totally cool. You serve them one, and it's like a monster has just been released. So
Fair enough.
I don't know if that is part of it either. But at the end of it, who do you think is on the hook for the $1,500? The bar owner, or should they wash it away?
That is a very difficult call. I mean, you don't want to burden bar owners any more than they already are, because of, as you said, they also have to be deeply concerned about people not getting behind the wheel,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, it's a business. I have great respect for those who work in environments where the potential is there for people to be hammered.
Yeah.
I'm so not interested.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you.
Listen, I can tell you many stories working at a bar and having to call cops on guys who are absolutely done, and following them out to their car, taking pictures of their license plates. When the cop, it's a nightmare for the people that work in the establishment. If you decide to come in, get bombed, and then try to drive home. It really, if you are a responsible place, it's insane.
And I'm with you. I'm normally all about, hey, listen, if you go on Scarborough Bluffs and it costs $1,000 to get you out, you have to pay that in some way, shape, or form. This one, if they do dinger because they just absolutely have to, that's the law or whatever,
Yeah.
I will say I feel sorry for her.
And to John's point about deterrence and whatnot, it says in the article, 10 years ago, people were given warnings on the first offense. So if they did show up and it was no big deal, they just let it go. There was a warning. But now, I guess maybe it happens a lot.
I bet you that's why.
And so they decided it's $477 a truck. To me, seems cheap, to be honest with you. To get a fire truck out there and all those trained professionals that do what they do, $477 a truck, to me seems reasonable.
So her bill is just a little under $1,500.
$1,431.
Wow.
And also, I know, people say all the time, why not to do that sort of stuff is because there might be a real accident or fire that these guys and
Yes.
girls have to go to. What's amazing is, I guess this is alcohol for you. You're obviously a grown man, and you're that upset about getting kicked out of a bar that you smash a window and pull a fire hydrant, pull a alarm. That is just incredible to me. I don't think there's enough alcohol in the world for me to do that. To get that mad.
Anytime I've cut somebody off, it's never gone smoothly.
Is it an ego
It's
thing?
never, ever. I don't know what it is, but you're in a state as the patron who's hammered, now being told you can't have what you really want. It never goes
No,
smoothly.
that's
Never.
true.
No, even you hear stories about people being let go from their jobs, and some handle it remarkably well,
Yeah.
to the surprise of everyone else,
Sure.
and some don't. The difference is they're not drunk. If you put drunk people in a room with an HR department and they were all told they were going to be fired, I think the response would be greatly different than those same people sober. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is what it does to you. And we talked this morning about an apparent road rage incident in Brampton, and your point, Ryan, was that sometimes road rage incidents involve a guy who's just a guy and isn't a total hothead, but things happen in the moment, and those things are always amplified by alcohol.
Yeah.
Always.
You know what? If it's a potential solution, because and you know better than anyone, you have a lot of locals that go to these bars and pubs and stuff like that. If I were her, maybe you try to do some sort of equivalent of a GoFundMe or a little event or whatever to help pay her off, because I don't know.
That's a good point.
Right? Just by going what you said, it sounds like she did everything she was supposed to
Yeah.
do. Even trying to call and say, this is false alarm. Even if you didn't know you're getting dinged, you don't want to bring somebody out that doesn't need it.
Okay, what would your response be if, because it is a neighborhood place from the sounds of it, somebody had said, oh, I know those two guys, that's Bob and Joe, and now they know who Bob and Joe are. Do they go after Bob and Joe, or does the law simply say it's got to be the owner of the establishment?
Wow, it's great.
Well, she's probably got cameras too. If it
maybe.
was me, I would try to find out who it was and at least let the police know. Whatever they do, they do.
Yeah.
And then you're obviously not welcome in my bar ever
Well,
again.
and that would be it.
Right.
The starting point was, let's make sure these
Yeah.
two are never back in. Not
Yeah.
that they, I think, would be tempted to go back in those doors. When you soil the sheets in public the way these guys have,
Yeah.
I don't think you want to go back to the scene of your crime.
Yeah.
So the March 14th is Pi Day, right? 3/14.
Yeah, that's right. 3/4.
Today is National Pie Day, P-I-E. Not like Pie du Bois, but just pie.
The pie that I understand.
I'm going to throw you a couple pie curveballs here
Okay.
in the list of most popular pies. And we'd love to know, what's your favorite type of pie? 107-777. Who giggled?
This guy.
Was that you giggling? It was.
John, I'm a
You're the
mature.
giggler.
I did.
You
The
have a-
word, the word pie and you giggle.
You have a daughter, man. You're an adult now. You're a father.
Just one word. Throw it
Honestly,
out there, pie.
I don't even know what's
And
funny
guy,
about it.
This
No,
guy
it's-
giggles. This guy.
My sincerest apologies.
What's funny about pie? I don't even get it.
I let my immaturity show.
All right.
I wish I even knew what you're being immature about.
No problem. No. All right. So the number one pie in North America.
He's got me giggling.
on,
It's his fault.
seriously.
It's his fault.
I'm excited to hear about the number one pie.
The number one pie.
You're insane. You're gonna have to be put in a corner.
This is supposed to be about dignity.
Right.
Man. The number one pie in North America is apple.
They're a classic. You enjoy apple pie?
Yeah, sure. Not my favorite, but I got it.
The number two pie, again, no big surprise here. Pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the slider.
Okay.
Number three, pot pie.
Any sort of pot pie?
Yes,
See, people don't think of savory pies.
exactly.
I love a savory pie.
I wish we were filming this just so you can see the V you put over, over
you.
your face when you did that.
Which do you guys prefer, sweet or savory?
Sweet
Sweet.
pie. But I love a pot pie,
Yeah. Oh, me too. In the wintertime?
and it's a pie.
Oh, yeah.
It may be a little outside the box.
Okay. But you enjoy it. You eat it.
Absolutely.
Shepherd's pie. Do you eat that?
No, not a fan of shepherd's pie.
Would you say I love it? Would you say it's a pie?
Definitely.
Okay.
But here's the big one. Pizza pie.
Oh, wow.
You're starting to test the
Wow,
patience
right.
of the average person now.
When someone says pizza pie, I feel like I'm watching a New York movie from the 70s. Hey, let's order pizza pie. Because I think families don't call it a pizza
That's-
pie.
That might be slang.
Hey, why don't we grab a pie?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I can see that.
Lemon meringue can just go right to hell.
Okay, you have strong feelings.
Too tart. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
Can I tell you the one that I hate the most?
Sure.
I think rhubarb has no business being in a pie whatsoever.
It's a tough one in an eating contest.
Oh.
What about pecan? You guys like that?
Love the pecan pie.
That might be my favorite.
Do you know what's on the list on this National Pie Day? Pecan pie is number 5, by the way. Number 4, key lime, also very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But also on the list is sugar pie. Isn't that a Harry Styles song?
Yeah, sugar pie.
Oh, that's watermelon.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know what sugar pie is.
Sugar pie is essentially like sugar with some flaky pastry.
No.
Combination of okay. Well, take a listen. You say, does this or does this not work for you as a pie? It's essentially pecan pie without the pecans. It's got sugar, maple syrup, cream, butter, and salt.
Oh, say goodbye to your teeth. You're gonna be gumming that pie next year. You know what I mean?
Sugar pie is at number 8, blueberry at number 9, and peanut butter pie. Never had that.
Never had that. I'm just seeing here, Ontario, talk about savory pies. Ontarians are the most likely in all over the country to add hot sauce to their savory pies.
Love hot sauce on anything.
You love hot sauce,
Yeah,
right?
take
You
Frank's
love-
on anything.
Yeah.
I need one of my shoes with Frank's on it.
Mm-hmm.
So peanut butter pie rounds out the list. But what we'd like to know is not only your favorite pie.
There's one winner, I can tell you that right now, through text. It's my husband's fave.
I bet it is. See, now there's a band that understood the pie world.
Right. I love that a woman texted this in. It's a pie, I'll just say it starts with F. And the second text was, it's my husband's fave.
Yes, indeed. I think that's going to be the new number 1.
Right, yeah.
107-777. Turn us on to an alternative type of pie. We'd like to hear about something, a pie we don't know about. So a lot of responses here, 107-777, talking about National Pie Day. Wow, you have an opinion on this. I love it. All kind like elderberry pie. Never had it.
No, I've only heard it in that movie, right?
Yeah, to a few.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a...
Yeah. Raisin pie, too, I've never heard of.
Never, not huge on the raisins.
Raisin pie, it's getting some love.
Tortilla, when you're talking about different types of pies.
French pie.
Sugar pie, apparently, speaking of French pie. is from Quebec.
Oh, come on. Probably a lot out there.
Who would have? I'm going to guess right now that Quebec is the world's largest sub-sovereign exporter of pie.
I agree with you. You'll have to have something. Peach pie.
Yeah, oh, another one. Not on the top 10 list.
Right.
The pie chart, as it were.
Don't know if
Very
I've-
summery. It's a summery pie. I'm not eating it in the fall. That's
How about you're not a key lime in the middle of winter guy
How
either?
can you be?
Are you a pumpkin guy in the summer?
No. Pumpkin's got its place. Pumpkin is the turkey of pies.
Okay, coconut cream pie. You know what? I'm not on Gilligan's Island. It's not for me.
Judge much?
Coconut cream.
Well, what something that gets mentioned here a lot in the responses is diabetes. Like, I'm feeling like Wilford Brimley over
Right.
here. Get the beatus.
The beatus pie.
And that's because for instance, you mentioned the sugar pie.
Yeah.
Good luck with your teeth.
You said you got some calls, Johnny?
I did, yeah. Barry said,
banana cream pie with sliced banana on it.
so you like banana cream pie, and you're putting more banana on it. I like
okay,
it. You like
yeah.
the flavor. And then this guy, didn't get his name, he said,
Billy Miner pie.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, the old
yeah.
I hate to tell you, Billy Miner pie is not a pie. It's not a pie, it's
It's
a
not
cake. Like from the keg.
Why? Because it's
It's not a pie.
Have you ever had it?
I have. It's not a pie.
Why?
Because it's a cake.
Oh, this is like it's a hot
I
dog
just tell
sandwich.
you.
Here we go.
Mr. Guy.
How did we not see this coming?
Time to
on.
ruin the fun.
I'm just saying, it's not a cake. It's not a pie.
Would you guys ever eat this pie? Are you ready for this one? Moose meat pie.
No.
Not happening.
No.
I'm sorry.
No. I tend not to go off that gamey ledge.
Strawberry rhubarb. A lot of strawberry rhubarb love.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry. Oh, have you guys ever heard of, this came in, Cherpumple pie?
No.
It's the turducken of pies.
Okay,
Tell
so
me
you're
more.
throwing a few different things in there.
It's cherry, pumpkin, and apple. I think that'd be pretty good, but I think probably more in the fall.
Some, too, your friends from down east, from Cape Breton, they say butterscotch pie.
Oh, I've never had. You know, I think it just tastes like a butter tart. I think. I don't
So
know.
it's a smaller pie.
I don't know.
Nothing like a butter tart. Okay, there's
yeah.
another question. Is a tart a pie?
No way.
You're
No
not
way.
willing to accept
If somebody
that.
offers me an individual pie when I'm at your house, that's a tart or a tartlet.
But what's the difference between somebody giving you a piece of pecan pie and a pecan tart? The tart, I believe, per square centimeter would have more flaky crust.
We got a big. Now you've started it now with
What?
Billy Miner. Billy Miner is a pie because it has a crust, so it's not a cake. Is the crust make it a pie?
I guess that is the defining feature. If it's got a crust, it's a cake, a
okay.
pie. If it has no crust, it's a cake.
Oh, okay. I don't know what to say. I will. You can't convince me. So you can throw out all the arguments you want. It'll be a cake till I die.
If that's the difference between the pie and the cake, we now know why so many love pie.
John, you can say good morning to your opponent, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning, Johnny boy.
Good morning to you, buddy.
Great phone line, bro.
Yes,
Bonus point for that.
that's strong.
Whoa.
That is today's technology at its peak.
We
New
had.
Apple iPhone.
Is that what it is?
Peak tech,
Yeah,
but
brand new 11.
Was it
nice.
Dave on Monday? It sounded like he called while snorkeling.
You got the one with the 3 cameras in it on the back?
No, I couldn't afford that one.
I hear ya.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'll have
We're
that
still,
one in
we're
the
still
future.
one camera guys.
Oh, for sure. The one you're talking about, I'm going to have that in 2027. You know what I mean? It's like a Hyundai piece.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
When you can get it for $32 with a 10-year contract.
That's right.
All right, good luck, Mike. Good luck, Mike.
Thanks, Johnny.
All right.
Good luck, John.
All right.
Get out.
All right. He's getting out. He'll be out in 3, 2, 1. Now you have 40 seconds yourself to answer 5 questions, okay?
All right.
All right. Here we go, Mike. Where on your body would you wear a bracelet?
On your wrist.
How many ships did Columbus set sail with on his initial voyage to the New World?
3.
According to the nursery rhyme, what did Jack Horner pull from his pie?
A plum.
How many films did Sean Connery play James Bond?
3.
What 2 states share a border with Florida?
Alabama. North Carolina.
I'll say this before John gets back in the room. You had 1 out of the 2.
I know it's Alabama.
Question is, what's the other one? We'll find out. Don't say anything, Mike. Don't say anything because John's walking back into the room. And a new twist to the game, not telling John what you got, all right, Mike? So you can stay
Well,
quiet
you're in the
yourself.
dark here.
You're in the dark, all right? 30 seconds are on the clock. And here we go. Where on your body would you wear a bracelet?
Your wrist.
How many ships did Columbus set sail with his initial voyage to the New World?
Thwa.
According to the nursery rhyme, what did Jack Horner pull from his pie? His pie.
Next.
How many films did Sean Connery play James Bond in?
Oh, 7.
What two states share a border with Florida?
Georgia, Alabama.
And what did old Jack Horner pull from his pie?
I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure what he pulled.
He pulled his plum.
I did not know
Little
that.
Jack Horner.
Mike, did you know that?
I did.
You did. I pulled his plum.
Yeah,
Not a
he pulled
boy.
his plum. Unfortunately, Mike didn't know James Bond. Did you just guess on the 7?
I did.
Great job.
100% guess.
And Mike got Alabama. He missed Georgia, so you won 4-3.
Ah, Mike, I hate to do it to you, buddy.
Wasn't long enough? We've heard that before. Listen to Derringer